The story involved a beast who was cursed for his stupidity, not his pride, and a beauty who had to discover his true nature. A widower merchant lives in a mansion with his 12 children, 6 sons and 6 daughters. All his daughters are very beautiful, but the youngest daughter was named Little Beauty, for she was the most gorgeous among all of them. She continued to be named Beauty until she was a young adult. She was the most lovely as well as kind, well-read and pure of heart, while the elder sisters in contrast are cruel, selfish, vain, spoiled, and were jealous of the Little Beauty. The merchant eventually loses all of his wealth in a tempest at sea, which sinks most of his merchant fleet. While Beauty makes a firm resolution to adjust to rural life with a cheerful disposition, her sisters do not and mistake her determination for stupidity. Some years later, the merchant hears that one of the trade ships he had sent has arrived back in port, having escaped the destruction of its companions. Before leaving, he asks his children if they wish for him to bring any gifts back for them. His oldest daughters ask for clothing, jewels, and the finest dresses possible as they think that his wealth has returned. Beauty asks for nothing but her father to be safe, but when he insists on buying her a present, she is satisfied with the promise of a rose, as none grow in their part of the country. During his return, the merchant becomes lost during a vicious storm. Seeking shelter, he comes upon a castle. Seeing that no one is home, the merchant sneaks in and finds tables inside, laden with food and drink, which seem to have been left for him by the castle's invisible owner. The merchant accepts this gift and spends the night there. The next morning, the merchant has come to view the palace as his own possession and is about to leave to fetch his children, when he sees a rose garden and recalls that Beauty had desired a rose. The merchant quickly plucks the loveliest rose he can find and is about to pluck more to create a bouquet, only to end up being confronted by a hideous beast who tries to kill him for stealing of his most precious possession, even after accepting his hospitality. The merchant begs to be set free, revealing that he had only picked the rose as a gift for his youngest daughter. The beast agrees to let him give the rose to Beauty, but only if the merchant brings one of his daughters to take his place without deception. He makes it clear that she must agree to take his place while under no illusions about her predicament. The merchant is upset, but accepts this condition for the sake of his own life, as he has no choice. The beast sends him on his way with wealth, jewels, and fine clothes for his sons and daughters, and stresses that he must not lie to his daughters. The merchant, upon arriving home, hands Beauty the rose she requested and informs her that it had a terrible price, before relaying what had happened during his absence. Her brothers say that they will go to the castle and fight the beast, while his older daughters refuse to leave and place blame on Beauty, urging her to right her own wrong. The merchant dissuades them, forbidding his children from ever going near the beast. Beauty willingly decides to go to the beast's castle, and the following morning she and her father set out atop a magical horse that the beast has provided them. Once they arrive, the beast receives her with great ceremony, and her arrival is greeted with fireworks entwining their initials. After that, the merchant is sent home with a reward the following morning. The beast gives Beauty lavish clothing and food, and carries on lengthy conversations with her, and she notes that he is inclined to stupidity rather than savagery. Every night the beast asks Beauty to marry him, only to be refused each time. After each refusal, Beauty dreams of a handsome prince with whom she begins to fall in love. Despite the apparition of a fairy urging her not to be deceived by appearances, she does not make the connection between the prince and the beast, and becomes convinced that the beast is holding him captive somewhere in the castle. She searches and discovers many enchanted rooms containing sources of entertainment, ranging from libraries to aviaries to enchanted windows, allowing her to attend the theatre. She also comes across many animals, including parrots and monkeys, which act as servants, but never the unknown prince from her dreams. For several months, Beauty lives a life of luxury at the Beast's castle, having every whim catered to, with no end of riches to amuse her and an endless supply of exquisite finery to wear. Eventually, she becomes homesick and begs the Beast to allow her to go see her family again. He allows it on the condition that she returns exactly 2 months later. Her father hints that if Beauty is going to her sister's wedding, he makes it clear that she must marry the Beast as well. However, Beauty rejects her father, and his brothers do all they can to prevent her from going back to his castle, and she reluctantly agrees to stay longer. When the 2 months have passed, she envisions the Beast dying alone on the castle grounds and hastens to return, despite her brother's resolve to prevent her from doing so. Once she is back in the castle, Beauty's fears are confirmed, and she finds the Beast near death in a cave on the grounds. That night, she agrees to marry him, and when she wakes up next to him, she finds that the Beast has transformed into the prince from her dreams. The woman turns out to be the prince's mother, the Queen, whose joy quickly falters when she finds out that Beauty is not of noble birth. The fairy chastises the mother and eventually reveals that Beauty is her niece, with her actual father being the Queen's brother from Fortunate Island and her mother being the fairy's sister. When the matter of Beauty's background is resolved, she requests that the prince tell his tale, and so he does. The prince informs her that his father, the king, died when he was young, and his mother had to wage war to defend his kingdom. The queen left him in the care of an evil fairy who tried to seduce him when he became an adult. When he refused, she transformed him into a beast. Only by finding true love, despite his ugliness, could the curse be broken. He and Beauty are married, and they live happily ever after together. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you all liked it. Please subscribe, like, and share our videos.